Right then, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Eager Man's podcast. On this particular episode, I've got a very special guest. He has built quite a name of himself in the digital world out there in terms of Amazon, FBA, trading, investments, finance. This podcast is going to cover a very wide range of topics, okay, ranging from marketing, branding, building your own business, mindset, etc., etc. So please join me in welcoming the man himself, Jats.
Thank you so much for having me, Nikhil.
Welcome on the show, brother.
Appreciate it. I'm glad to be here.
And what do you think of the studio? It's pretty nice, isn't it?
It is much better than I thought in my head as well. So
really?
Yeah, it's definitely nice and cozy. I think not just the view, but just in general, the vibe is there.
It's comfortable. It's comfortable.
Yeah.
It encourages you to talk.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's get cracking with your personal life. So, the origin of your story. How did you get started with all of this?
So I'll start off with my kind of origin story of where I come from. Then I'll go to where have I started.
Please, yeah.
So I was born and raised in India, a small island called Div. That's where I grew up.
It's in Gujarat.
It's in Gujarat, yes.
Yeah.
So I grew up there. When I was around 3 or 4 years old, my mom decided to move to the UK. Not move, but shift here so that we can have a better life. She can kind of help us out and stuff like that. So I was sort of raised just by my dad and my grandmother. And so until the age of 11-ish, I was in India. And then we decided, okay, cool. My mom was in a position to kind of take us all here as well. So then we all moved here, including my siblings and my dad. Now, once I moved here, life was completely different. Like when I was in India, I was living in a house, or I grew up in a house which didn't have like a stable roof. In India, you have like the hut type things.
Yeah, in villages, right?
Exactly. So I kind of grew up in that, and then I moved here, and then I just kind of started looking at these buildings and huge, amazing cars and everything. I was like, damn, life is going to be completely different here. And at the start, it was really hard, especially at school, because when I was in India, I was in year 5. I came here and I went straight to year 7. This is straight to secondary school. The time when all kids are kind of grown up, they can judge you, they can bully you, everything. And I didn't know how to speak English properly. So my first 2-3 years were extremely, extremely hard because I couldn't even have the courage to speak in class or raise my hand up or ask the teacher for something.
Okay.
So I was just in that zone and I was like, okay, this thing, I don't know what I'm going to do with life. But luckily, I would say I had few friends who made me feel like home because those guys were from back where I live. And that helped me build that confidence eventually. So when I moved to year 9, year 10, I managed to gain a bit of kind of skills from them, not just speaking English, but also learning of how they go about kind of studying for exams, blah, blah, blah. But then eventually I did manage to get decent grades. I go into university. And when I was in my first year of university, I was doing amazing. I got almost 79%, which is almost, I think, above first class degree or whatever they call it. But it was the second year when my life completely changed. And that year, I came across a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Okay, right.
The book that every young entrepreneur kind of experiences and has the awakening of being an entrepreneur. And you realize that the path that you are following might not be the best path. So up until that, I was doing everything, which was study, go to university, get a good degree, then get a job. That was the plan.
Right.
But then in the second year, I was like, after reading the book, I was like, if I can't escape the 9 to 5, I will never get rich.
Yeah.
And I will never be able to live the life I truly want and have the freedom, financial freedom. That's what the book really talks about.
Yeah.
Now, that's the year I decided, okay, I need to do something that will allow me to escape the 9 to 5 rat race. And since that moment, I tried a lot of things, but I just had failures. What I mean by failures, my first ever business that I tried was property investing, like rent to rent, HMOs, blah, blah, blah. I was too young for it. So when I did try it out, I was so scared to speak to landlords and agents that eventually I quit. I still remember the scariest moment in my life was there was a strategy that you send envelopes with written letters to landlords.
Right.
So I decided to send it to like 500 landlords.
Okay.
And I think one of them, I forgot to put the stamp on. So when the landlord received it, they had to go to the post office, pay for it, and then get the letter because they thought it might be something important. So I was just on my way to see a viewing from an agent for a potential house. and I get this call of a really angry lady. And she was like, how dare you do this? In that moment, like my whole body was shaking. I was like, okay, I'm done. I didn't go to that viewing. I didn't do anything. From that moment, I was just like, yeah, this
quit.
is it. I just quit straight up.
Was that rent to rent?
It was rent to rent,
Right.
yeah. So I was going to go see a house, and then I was going to kind of rent it out and then sublet it in multiple rooms. HMOs, yeah.
And this was in your second year of uni?
Second year of uni. And this was sort of in 2018-ish, before 2019. Well, 28 is before 2019. But eventually after I quit that, in my second year of uni, I also go into professional pathways. So City University gives you, first year you can do full-time university, but the next 3 years you can do placement and uni at the same time.
Right.
So I was doing both simultaneously. So after quitting, I was just like, yeah, I'm going to get a job. And I started working at that kind of job while doing uni as well. I was doing that and my life was kind of repeatedly doing the same thing.
What was the job again?
It was IT support.
Okay.
So just providing support for the clients that the company had in real estate or accounting firms and all these companies.
Understood.
I did that and it got to a point where I was just like, man, what am I doing with life? Like, imagine my parents worked this hard to get me to this country, gave me all the kind of benefits, the privileges, everything. And then I'm working at this IT support, which I could have done in India as well, because most Indians are supposed to be in IT support.
Yeah.
That's what,
I mean, it's dominating in the stigma at the moment. Yeah,
exactly. So I was just like, I need to do something. So then I started to try different things out, like drop shipping, Forex trading, like getting into e-commerce and everything. But even then I was not getting any success out of it.
And how old were you when you started implementing or trying?
So all of this, I was around 19 years old.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Okay.
So I started doing property when I was 18-ish or almost turning 19.
Yeah.
19 is when I was trialing all these things out,
Gotcha.
but I wasn't finding any success. And then end of 2019, when I was still 19, I decided I'm going to quit my job and go back to property investing because I watched some videos and I was like, okay, now I can do it. I have the confidence. I'm 19 years old. I quit. And then I was like, okay, now I quit the job. What should I do? I didn't have any money. I had like 2.5K only. So I was like, flip, I can't do anything about this. So I decided, let me do something else. And at that time, I was introduced to something called network marketing, which is basically pyramid schemes.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And what's funny is that up until the age of 19, I didn't know what pyramid schemes or network marketing was. So I got into it. After 2 months, I realized it was a scam. And that's the moment I decided. My friends actually invited me to a trip to Budapest. And that was 2020, just before COVID hit.
Right.
Just before the first lockdown. And we flew to Budapest. It was a 3-day trip. We came back. And from that moment, I think that itself was my awakening, I say, of understanding like, what the hell am I doing? Like I was at the lowest point in my life in that.
After coming back from Budapest?
Budapest, yeah. Because I just didn't know what to do with life. I was jobless. I was like negative £4,000 in debt because I also took a loan from NatWest just before flying to Budapest because I didn't have a job and I had to pay the bills, like my own expenses. And I was too ashamed to ask my dad for any money or even my siblings for any money as well.
Me too, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I just didn't know what to do with life. And I was like, okay, this is it. Like, what should I do? And luckily, I know it was the worst thing that could ever happen to the world, which was lockdown. Lockdown hit. And now I'm at home. I don't have a job. That time, my old boss actually decided to hire me back. And he's like, if you want to come back, you can.
Right.
So I took that job, but everything was work from home.
That was in the IT?
The IT company as well. So it was work from home after that. And that moment I made the most out of it. I was listening to Gary Vee on how to like get on TikTok.
Social media,
exactly. And start a business, try make money online, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm just going to make videos on TikTok. And at the start, I was making these motivational videos, random challenges and stuff like that. And then I started watching a few UK creators talking about making money online, entrepreneurship. And I just got into that. I was just like, I'm going to try and make money online and I'm going to show the world, document my journey. If I'm getting success, if I'm not getting success, what's happening, this and that.
Right.
And that's how this entire journey started in 2020, first lockdown. And what's crazy is that maybe it's luck or maybe it's just that I was trying for such a long time that people started to resonate. They started following. They started watching my content. And I just started doubling down on whatever was working. And that's how I went from, when I started the content creation, I just was trying to make money from random crap like surveys, this and that. And then it led me to Amazon FBA, which is what I do till date. Kind of in that space. That's what I've been doing.
And then Amazon FBA has proven to be quite profitable for you.
Exactly. That's the business model that I have done for myself, mainly because it matches my lifestyle.
Understood.
That's something I learned really late on, how you build a business that matches your lifestyle rather than just doing a random business that you think you want to start.
It's crazy how similar our stories are.
Is it?
It's actually crazy how similar our stories are. So I came to the UK around the time I was 10, 11. I come from a state called Rajasthan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And from a village as well, just like you. And I remember I remember when I first came to this country, when the plane was hovering over the clouds, I was looking down and I was like seeing all these buildings and this river, and I was like, this is a totally different fucking world.
Exactly.
Where am I? Where am I? That was like the awakening moment for me. And, couldn't speak English. Similar story to yours. Got along with a couple of guys that were from back home.
Yeah.
Did really poorly academically, I would say, especially at the beginning. I was in set 4 for maths, English, science,
Likewise.
all that. And then in about year 10, I would say the beginning of year 10, I saw all my other friends doing really well. And I was like, hold on, I can do better. Like if I put in enough work, I can definitely, level up in my academic field. And so I remember staying up like till late at night, revising for maths, this, that. And I went from set 4 to set 2, set 1 as well in maths. And I went to set 2 in English and set 2 in science. And then in terms of GCSEs, I did really well. I got, I think 2 8s and like 3 4 7s or something. I can't remember very clearly, but I did really well in maths, physics, and a couple other subjects. When I started my A levels, I did maths, physics, and geography. And at the beginning of year 12, I came across Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Oh, wow.
This is at the beginning of year 12. And I went from being this focused, serious academic kid to like, fuck this. I'm changing my path completely. I'm going down the path of entrepreneurship because I don't want to do what everyone else is doing.
Yeah. So
that book essentially derailed my focus entirely. Yeah. And I went from giving in 100% at school or in my A levels to then giving absolutely no focus, attention, or whatever. And then from there, I somehow managed to get into uni, right? Up till then, I wasn't really doing much. I was just trying a few things here and there. I think in year 13, I can't remember very clearly. I've got a very bad memory, but I did definitely try rent to rent.
Oh, you did? Crazy.
This is what I mean. I said our stories are so similar.
Yeah.
I tried rent to rent. I think this was in year 13. And whilst going to uni at the same time, or no, I wasn't going to uni. I think I was still in A levels. Sorry. Yeah, I was in A levels. I was dabbling with rent to rent, and I had a job. I used to work for a DJ company and get paid under the table. It was just one of those, just one of those things I did. They had gigs like in different cities, and so we would go there and do our thing. I would mainly just help him set up, but then he used to pay me under the table. I was doing that on the side, A levels, and then dabbling with rent to rent. And I used to call landlords.
Yeah.
And I remember this one time we were at the warehouse to pick up equipment for this gig that we were going to. And then I received a message from a landlord whom I had texted through one of the platforms where you can find them. I can't remember. So I gave her a call and I said, hey, I can manage your property for you on your behalf and give you a fixed rent on a monthly basis and da-da-da-da. And she was asking me questions and I was answering her, but I just felt like she didn't take me seriously because I sounded too young.
Too young, yeah.
I must have, I think, been around 18-ish, around that age.
Yeah.
She didn't take me seriously. I was like, okay, rent to rent is, although it is a profitable business model, I don't think it's the right time to pursue it. So forgot about it, just continued reading my books and whatever, went to uni. After 3 days, I'm like, no, fuck this.
I
went to Brunel University and I was like, this is not my cup of tea. Because all I was seeing around me was kids, looking forward to clubbing and partying at the end of the day, just messing about. And that just something about that didn't feel right. I just wanted to get cracking with my life early on and sort of build a solid foundation. So I dropped out and then I joined hospitality, started working as a bartender, worked as a bartender for about 2-3 months, then receptionist, then reception supervisor, then a hotel duty manager. And now I'm at a stage where I've started the Eager Minds. So similar stories, I would say we both have
really
to some
similar.
degree. Yeah. But the question I wanted to ask you was, how did you pick up the camera and start filming and putting yourself out there?
Yeah.
That's the question I ask everyone.
I get that. I think I didn't realize how hard it is for people to actually pick up the camera and just start recording,
Right.
because that fear of judgment. But I think at that time I was so low in my life, right, that nothing was, I was not scared of anything, any judgment. Like what how worse can it get from here?
Right.
Like, will people judge me for making videos? Will people call me stupid? Fine. At least I'm not going to be in this place where I'm currently at. So that really helped out. But I think when you think about it, to make content, the biggest fear people have is the fear of judgment.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think truly, if you ask yourself that, hey, when I'm going to be 50 or 60 years old and I'm going to be on my deathbed, am I really going to be just not regretting that I didn't do what I wanted to do just because I was scared about what people will think, what my cousin will think, what my friend will think, what my teacher will think? Just, I think for me it was a completely different situation. But for most people, I just say that. And honestly, if you're not made for the camera, then don't do it. Do something else. It's fine, but at least do something.
Yeah.
But if you truly want to create content for the world, or at least for yourself, go ahead and do it. Why live your life for others instead of living it for yourself? We all have one life.
I 1,000% agree. I mean, I asked that question because it was the biggest obstacle I had to overcome on my path to creating content. Like from the time I first, thought of creating content to actually sitting in front of a camera and creating it, the gap between those two phases, those 2 points, was at least 1.5 to 2 years, because I spent so much time ruminating on what my family members, my friends, what my colleagues at work would, and other people would think of me when they see me on social media, if they sort of come across me. And it just got to a stage where I was like, yeah, but my vision for my life is much bigger than what their vision is for theirs. Yeah. And so for me to get to that level, I have to do what others are not doing.
Exactly.
Right? It's like, if you keep on doing what everyone else is doing, you'll keep on getting what everyone else has been getting.
Exactly.
So to get different results, you literally have to do different things.
Right?
And then I remember what got me into creating content consistently was when I came across Alex Hormozi.
Yes.
he changed me massively. He completely changed the state of my mind, and the way I looked at creating content and what people would think of me, etc., etc. I think it was him that said that, us humans, we're living in a micro society, and in this micro society we have our own little reputation, and as social creatures, naturally we are afraid of damaging that reputation.
Yeah.
Right? But because of that fear, you forget to look. You forget to look at the bigger picture, which is that, okay, if you were to go ahead with doing it anyway, in spite of the fear, imagine what you could achieve, right? 5, 6, 7, 8 years down the line, and then once you've actually become successful, none of that would have mattered.
Exactly. And I think, to expand on that, while I was on the train, I was just listening to a podcast from him, and it was literally about this thing of like, you have this perception of your little reputation that you think you have in the society, and that's what you're trying to say. When people say I have nothing to lose, like people like, I said that I had nothing to lose, but for people, they have this reputation to lose, or that relationship in the society to lose, so they fear of that. But are you really going to let that hold you from maximizing your potential? Like, imagine you were put on this planet to build the next Apple, but then you are just scared about what your girlfriend's sister's gonna think about you when you start making content.
Friends from year 8.
Year 8, exactly.
Matter anymore.
Exactly. I can relate that to a lot.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things. The fear of people. It's a big thing. It's a big problem for many content creators.
I think the biggest, in my opinion. And other thing apart from this fear of other people or fear of judgment, it's also that you judge yourself too quickly and you think you're really important in society when you're not. Like, I'm nothing. If you think about it, like, you are nothing as well.
Yeah.
Who are you? Like, you think people really sit there and think about you? Think of your closest friend and ask them, hey, how many times did you think of me yesterday? 0. Day before yesterday? 0. No one cares about you as much as you think they care about you. So I think the moment you stop judging your own self on like, oh, my accent's not good enough, my face is not good enough, my this is not good enough, I can't speak to the camera, like, just stop judging yourself.
And people are too busy worrying about their own lives. They don't have time to give any fucks about your life.
Exactly.
So,
honestly, we live in a world where there's so many problems in their own lives that they don't have, like, people don't have time to think about you. So
yeah, and I think when you worry about what other people, I think to some degree, yes, it is important to care about what people think of you, because we are social creatures at the end of the day, and we come from that hunter-gatherer world where in order for us to fit in, and be part of the tribe, we had to care about what people would think of us. But I think in the modern world, it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
I think times have changed drastically.
But more importantly, yes, it's okay to, you're not going to go on social media and start creating content that's going to make you look stupid, right? That's a different story. That's when you're like, okay, cool, I have to make sure that on social media I can do that, but in my real life, I have to keep the relationships as they were with my people. So when I used to make content about e-commerce or business, I didn't go to my friends and I just started talking about e-commerce or business. I was still the same guy. So to some degree, yes, you should care about what people think about you, but you should not let that stop you from doing what you want to do.
Yeah,
I think that's more important.
That's definitely one way to look at it, a very important way to look at it, yeah. And ironically, once I started creating content and putting myself out there, I actually became more ruthless in the sense that I went from giving a little bit of fucks about people to then giving no fucks at all. It's like, I'm doing this, I'm going down my own path. I don't care what anyone else says about it or how they perceive me or how they judge me. Is that something that happened to
100%. I think, so the other day when I was just driving with my fiance, she asked me, she's like, how the hell do you deal with problems? Like, you currently have so much stress. You currently have so many problems. How do you just deal with them? Don't you overthink? Don't you sit there with your problems and be like, oh my God, my life is ruined, this and that? And I'm like, I think I've just become resistant to a lot of things, like especially problems or especially caring about people on anything. I think the more you stay in this game of doing things for yourself, and especially entrepreneurship or creating content, when you have a lot of people judging you every single day, leaving hate comments, this and that, or leaving positive comments, you just become immune to everything. You just don't care. And I think that's something that's happened with me as well, that now I just, unless it's a really bad thing that really affected me, then that's a different story. But I think now I just don't care. And that's how I look at things now. Yeah,
the more you get beaten up, the more resistance you develop towards pain,
exactly.
Yeah. When it comes to dealing with problems, it's a good point that you raised, because there are so many people out there that focus on things that are not even in their control.
Yeah.
And I am a big believer of this 80-20 rule, where only 20% of what truly matters, truly happens in your life matters. The rest is just noise. It's nonsense. It's not going to produce any meaningful results in your life. It's not going to make you any more efficient. So ignore it. Don't care about it.
Exactly.
And even that contributed a bit to my to this mindset of not caring about what people would think of you.
And it always turns out better than you think.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, when they have problems, they live too much in their head. They create a false reality, and then they attach emotions to that, and then they think that's their reality, but it's not. It's just in their head. So when we have problems, especially me, this is the way I think about it, is that, again, if I can't control something to avoid that problem right now, I'm not going to put too much energy into that, because that's just me getting stressed over something that I have no control over. When it's a problem that I have some sort of control over, I will try and see how I can resolve it. And that always turns out to give me a perspective to not stress about it. And I think problems are just a matter of perspective. You can turn a bad problem into a good problem if you just change your perception around it.
1,000%. And even when it comes to dealing with problems that are in your control, it's like you don't have to get it right from the beginning. You're not supposed to know everything from the beginning.
Exactly.
You know, just try your hardest, try your best when it comes to dealing with certain things. And if you can't crack the nut open, then you will know how to do it better the next time when a similar problem arises.
It is crazy how many people think that, Hormozi is there, so why am I not there as well? Like, he started here. He started with all the problems that you're going to go through when you start something. So you can't expect yourself to be here. Like, you can't compare your day 1 to someone's day 100.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
I mean, it took Alex Hormozi years to get to where he is.
Yeah. 2015 he started, so now what, a decade, 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've been doing this for about consistently not that long, couple of months.
But technically it started off before, when 1 year ago, when you were thinking about it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it all started the moment I told myself, okay, I'm gonna create content and share my journey and become an entrepreneur. That's obviously the moment the seed was planted in my head. That's when it all began. Now it took a while for that seed to germinate. Only been about 3 months.
Do you know how much opportunity cost you had to take? Like, that 1 year meant you lost 1 year's worth of growth.
Yeah, I know. I've realized that.
Yeah. People think they're not losing anything by just waiting, but it's the opportunity cost that they're losing out on anything they want to do.
It's bugging me deep down, but I tend not to think about
it. Look, hey, it's never too late. Yeah,
it's in the past.
Exactly.
And I know that this is completely in my control now. So from this point onwards, I know exactly what I have to do, which is to just work. Because I think it takes a while for you to find your path, to find your track. This idea of becoming successful is very overwhelming. Like you have to, it takes a while for you to define it. I think it's not something that just comes to you like that. I realized I wanted to become extremely successful back during my GCSEs or A levels. But at that time, this idea was very anxiety inducing. I was very overwhelmed because I didn't know what success meant.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. Like, your meaning of success back then and your meaning of success now must be two different things.
Two different things entirely, because there's like a million things that you can pursue in life to become successful. It's like what Miyamoto Musashi once said. There are multiple, I'm going to butcher the quote, but he said there are more than one ways to get to the top of the mountain. There isn't just one way,
there are multiple paths.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many other ways you can use to get to the same destination. And that was something. And once I found out that, I was like, okay, well then, which is the fastest path? And that was another challenge, because now I'm like, okay, there's so many ways to get there. Which is the best way? And then I ruminated on that for a bit, and then I was like, I will never truly know. I think unless I just try and fail and try until I get there, I will never know. I like these things. I think you can only get the answers to these questions in hindsight.
Yeah. I like that a lot. And I think I want to spend a bit more time on this, because just yesterday, I was talking to my partner about this thing where she was like, I don't know what's my dream, because she got asked, she's like, I never actually sat down to realize, like, what is my dream? Like, when we were young, we were like, I want to get a car, I want to get this job, I want to get a degree, this and that. But what I'm referring to dream as success, like, what is success to you? So she's like, those were my things. But now when I think about it, like, I don't have any big dreams. So when you said about the part of like, hey, there are multiple ways to achieve success or a dream. Firstly, how do you even define, like, what is your dream? Because as you said, there are so many things you can do to achieve success. So like, what is it right for you? And I think, obviously, I would love to know your way of it. But I think, in my opinion, your dream is something that you can create rather than trying to wait for the moment of like, this is the thing that's going to be my dream. You can literally say that, okay, my dream is to build a house tomorrow. And then that's going to be your dream. But I think understanding that having a dream, just a random dream, is different to having a dream that's aligned with your unfair advantages. Like, when you spoke about which path is going to be the quickest to get to success. I think that comes down to what are your unfair advantages? What are the experiences you have got in the past? If you can then bring and be like, okay, cool. If I use these, then this is going to be the path for me to achieve this the quickest. So now I'm going to go all out into that. So I think that's the way I think about it, and how sometimes, a lot of people watching this might be like, okay, Jazz, I want to start a business. What business should I start? I think I will just tell them, sit down, list down all the businesses that you want to potentially start, and then list out all your unfair advantages. Like in school, you did maybe a challenge where you had to raise money. Okay, that was one thing you have sort of experience in. Then what skills did you use in that? Then you might have given a keynote at this event. Okay, you're good at public speaking. So now all those things are something that you're good at. So then try and figure out which business has majority of these skills that you have in, and then go after that. You will succeed most likely because you have some sort of experience in that.
So what you've said there is basically a much more strategic way of going about it.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like a lot of people are just kind of, they don't know what direction to take. They need some sort of direction. And I feel like this is what I did. So it worked for me. Maybe it will work for you. Try it out. If not.
Right. Yeah. I mean, when you know your unfair advantages and the things that you're good at versus the things that you're not good at, it just clears the fog a bit more.
Yeah.
And you can see it slightly more clearly.
Definitely.
Going back to this point, a lot of people think that this idea of their purpose or their mission in life or their dream is predetermined.
Yeah.
As if one day the stars will align.
And
and the fucking light bulb will switch on and they'll find their path, and from there onwards, unlimited fulfillment and happiness.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Exactly. And I actually was thinking that my purpose is going to be something like life-changing. My whole perspective will change and I'll become some sort of monk. And I'll be like, yes, this is my purpose. I'm meant for it. But then eventually I realized that you can create your own purpose and your why will change over time. Like at the start, my purpose was just to, I would say my purpose was more of like giving back, teaching others, helping others.
Right.
That's my underlining purpose of life. That's why I think everyone's purpose in life is just to, not for themselves, but it's for others, serving others. That's your purpose for life. But then what is your why? Like my start at the start was helping my parents. Okay, I accomplished that. What's my next why? Maybe now I want to raise a family where I can make sure that my kids never have to worry about money. That's my next why. Then maybe it's going to be something else. And I think if you fixate yourself on like, okay, I'm going to wait until I find a good purpose in my life, I'm going to start that time. I think that's where a lot of people stay stuck and never try anything.
You probably keep on waiting until your deathbed.
Exactly.
You'll never get there.
Exactly.
Yeah. The fastest, I was watching Alex Hormozi the other day, and he spoke about how to find your purpose, right? And he said the fastest way to find your purpose in life is to ask yourself, what is it that's preventing you from killing yourself in this very moment? And that's a very, very harsh way to look at it.
But it's a really good perspective.
It's a horrible way to look at it, but it's a powerful perspective, because the fact that you're alive right now in this very moment, you're breathing, means that there's something that's keeping you alive.
Yeah.
Now that could be as simple as your dog.
Yep. That's your purpose.
That's your dog might be your purpose, right? Your family members, your parents, you love them a lot. It could be as simple as the fact that you love going for walks in your local park while sipping on your coffee. It could be that simple,
Exactly.
But that is the reason why you are happy. That is the reason why you are still alive. And so why don't you just expand on that?
Yeah,
that's like the fastest way to find.
I think it was in the Logan Paul's podcast.
Exactly. Yeah, that was the one.
And honestly, I feel like more than business advice, I sometimes watch Hormozi for philosophy and perspective, because his perspectives are sometimes wild and like mind blowing. One of them being, it's not Hormozi's, but it was in the podcast I was listening to where Hormozi was, where Chris Williamson said that this quote about people are so scared about trying out for themselves, like building their own thing in business. And then James Smith, who is Chris Williamson's business partner, he has this quote where he's like, imagine, I'm going to again butcher it as well, but he was just talking about, you're doing so good at the business, you're doing so good at the job you hate. Imagine how good you would do at the thing that you love.
That you actually love doing. Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah, I've come across that.
So I was just deep in it for a moment. I was just like, that's an amazing perspective, because you are truly like climbing the career ladder in your company.
Yeah.
And you're doing really well, but you hate the job. Now imagine you put that much effort into your own thing. Don't get me wrong, it's going to be a lot more harder and might just drain you. But I think that will reward you so much in like 10 years from now.
Yeah. And look, I love my job. I genuinely love my job because it puts my brain to work. I'm surrounded by smart people all the time, and there's a clear path for success.
Yes.
Right. And I've done well so far, I would say, in terms of progressing on the career ladder. But I would rather own a hotel than work for one.
Exactly.
And
don't get me wrong, like having a 9-to-5 job, I no longer perceive it as a bad thing as long as you enjoy it. My whole thesis in life now has changed to just this. How can I live a more happy and fulfilled life? That's it. Ultimately, if you can do that with your job, that's the path you can follow. Mm-hmm. If you want to do that with a business, you can do that. If you want to do that by becoming a monk, do that. Every one of us have our own way of life. And so I think if you can do what keeps you happy and fulfilled, just do that. That could be a business. You don't have to do a business.
I think my look on happiness has also slightly evolved over the last couple of years. I was prioritizing happiness at the beginning, and now I'm at a stage where I don't really care much about happiness. I think what I care about is fulfilling my purpose, because happiness comes in waves. One day you're happy, the next day you might not be. And you can't let that element of uncertainty control your life. Whereas if you have one purpose that you're just, that you're aiming towards, whether you're happy or not, doesn't matter. You will always progress in life. And I think I picked that up from Jordan Peterson.
Honestly, I think, again, he's a great speaker, and his advice on like happiness itself is therefore, and I love that what you just said there as well. I remember I made a video back in like 2021 where I was just like, someone asked me like, are you happy? And I was like, no, it was the question like, can money buy happiness?
Oh, right.
And I made a video, I'm like, money can definitely buy happiness, but what money can't buy is fulfillment.
Right.
Because you could buy a nice vacation and that will make you happy, but that won't make you fulfilled from internally. Like you will not feel that peace. And I think just like you at the start, I was seeking for happiness, but then eventually I realized that's not the end goal. If you can be happy and still be miserable from inside. What matters is how fulfilled are you truly.
You are in your life.
And I think fulfillment comes from not just money, but doing what you truly enjoy, and at the same time, not just doing it for yourself, but doing it for the people around you, or doing it for something that is less selfish. I think that gives you fulfillment.
Yeah, I mean, does money buy happiness? Well, if you're not a monk meditating on a mountain somewhere and you're living in a city like London, New York, then money does buy a lot of fucking happiness. And the reason why, well, actually, I don't know if money buys happiness or not, but money solves money-related problems.
Yeah, and but we can literally break it down. Okay, can money buy happiness? Can money pay the rent for your home? Can money buy a nice date or night out?
Yeah. Can money buy a nice house with a massive garden for your wife and your kids to play in?
And will money solve your problems for the month or for this year? 100%. Will that make you happy? Yes.
Yes.
But will that make you fulfilled? Maybe not.
Maybe not. Yeah.
That's where, that's the thing. Like when people ask me that question, I'm like, yes, absolutely. Go after money at the start. Think about fulfillment later. Because I think once you solve the money problems, then you're left with problems money can't solve.
Yeah, true.
So that's when you can solve those problems, which are looking for fulfillment, looking for purpose, looking for peace. But I think at the start, the number one thing you need to solve is money, which is why I'm so into like helping people make money online, or just like pushing people that go try and make money online. Because once you can solve these problems, then you can fight with your inner demons.
Right. Yeah. So let's talk a bit more about that. The fact that you put yourself out there and you teach people how to make money, and you're into Amazon FBA and all that. I have heard about Amazon FBA here and there. I might have watched a couple of videos, but I'm not too deep into it. Certainly not to the extent you are. For a beginner like me, what is Amazon FBA?
Amazon FBA is basically a way that you can sell on Amazon. So FBA stands for Fulfilled by Amazon.
Right.
Essentially, Amazon is the one who will fulfill your orders for you.
Right.
That's Amazon FBA. FBM is Fulfilled by Merchant. So you can still sell on Amazon, but you as a seller will ship the orders to the customer.
So you pack
and ship it. Yeah. If you do FBM, if you do Amazon FBA, that's when all you're doing is building your product. If you're doing private label, like building your own supplement line or whatever, you create your own product. Or if you're doing wholesale Amazon, which is what I started with, when you buy a brand name product like, for example, Dettol soaps, you can buy that in a multi-pack. Then you can start selling it on Amazon itself. And the best part about Amazon is that once you have got your product, you then ship all your stock to Amazon's warehouses. They then store it, ship it, pack it and ship it. And they also deal with all the returns and customer service for you. So the only part you will be focusing on is actually the actual product part, finding a good product and building a good product. That's the part you're focused on.
So two different things. You can either build your own product, or you can just find a product.
Yeah, exactly. That's the great thing about just Amazon. Not just Amazon, but this part is reselling and this part is sort of private label. So when you sell someone else's product,
right,
you're reselling that on Amazon. So you can bulk buy it. For example, you can buy a pallet of Dettol soaps for like 50 or 100% less than the retail price. Then on Amazon,
you're buying in bulk.
In bulk, yeah. So then you can sell it on Amazon for the retail price. So if you're buying a soap for 10p, you could sell it for £1. If you're buying maybe a pack of 10 for £5, you could sell it for 15 quid on Amazon.
Right.
And then after Amazon fees and everything, you're left with a margin that you can then kind of.
But if Amazon is storing your products for you, then is there a limit to how much they accept?
So at the start, you have a small cubic area that Amazon dedicates to you, which is enough. Like you can probably send 1,000 units or more than that, and you will still have enough space. Once you start selling within like a month or two, if your stock consistently sells, you can ask for an increase in limit of how much stock you can send. Like right now at Amazon, we currently probably have over 10,000 or 15,000 units across all the products. And we still have more
different
space.
Products.
Yeah, different products. So I don't just sell one product.
It's not private label. You haven't built those products.
No, so now at this stage, I started with just purely wholesale. Then I moved to kind of selling branded products along with a unbranded product, putting it together, sort of creating an exclusive bundle type thing. That's what I did. And then I have 2 really good products that are my own private label product. Like one of them, we even have a bestseller badge for Amazon. Like when you get bestseller badge, which is a really big thing. So that's one of my private label products. Building a brand, that's something I still haven't really done. I'm still building one, but I haven't built it like, oh my God, it's mega successful, anything like that.
Right. I mean, I am going down that route of building a brand. So the Eagomans, I want the Eagomans to become a male lifestyle optimization brand, and performance enhancing. So go down that route. Once my product is out, once my supplement is out, and I'm just giving you an example, I'm trying to get a better understanding of how this works. Let's say I ordered 500 units.
Yes.
Right. And I list them on my website. Yeah. And I market. I've got leads coming from the paid advertising that I'm doing. But then on the other hand, I can also put 100 to 200 units through Amazon.
Yes.
Would that work? How would that?
So here's the best thing about Amazon, right? The reason why I say you can do Amazon alongside with your job, or you can do Amazon even when, like you can do Amazon when you don't want to deal with customers. Hypothetically, you're going to list it on your website. Firstly, no one will ever know about your website until you run paid ads. Paid ads itself are not easy to run or easy to become profitable unless you know what you're doing, unless you hire a company who knows what they're doing. That's the first problem. Paid ads itself, like Facebook ads, it's easy to get started. But if you don't know what you're doing, it's really, really quick until you start becoming unprofitable, because you might be spending, to acquire a customer, you might be spending £10, and your profit margin for that product might just be £10 after all the cost of goods and everything. So now you're breaking even. And the worst part is that when those customers are coming to your website, they're only buying one product at the start, which might be your break-even point. if you don't have any upsells on that actual product, like your second line, or it could be like a subscription, if you have not upsold those, and your CAC, which is cost acquisition cost, right? Customer acquisition cost is £10 as well, and your margin is £10, you're going to break even, and then that customer might not even come back to buy from you. So you're going to just keep breaking even, and your business is not really going to grow.
Right.
So that's where the one problem that I'm not saying it's not possible, but at the start it's really difficult. Whereas with Amazon, let's say you have got 500 units. From there, you send 150 units off to Amazon. You can do that. You just create an Amazon seller account. You ship those units off to Amazon. And now the best thing about Amazon is everything is inbuilt. For example, even Amazon ads, you can run directly from Amazon. So that means once you have shipped your product off to Amazon, you can start your Amazon PPC auto campaign. So you don't even need to be a pro at advertisement at the start. You can just run that campaign. Now, let's say
So Amazon, sorry to cut you off. Amazon is advertising your product on Amazon.
On Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah. Amazon does have the feature where you can promote outside everything, but that's too complicated and no one needs to ever go there until you're doing like hundreds of thousands of pounds a month and stuff like that. But the great part about this is that when you get a sale on Amazon from the Amazon ads, it might be unprofitable for the first 50 units because you might get 10 clicks, and Amazon is PPC. So it's pay per click only.
Yeah.
So Amazon can show your product to 100,000 people, but you're not going to pay for that. You're only going to pay when someone clicks on the listing, when Amazon shows it.
Right.
If you do a really good job in having a really good product, really good images, really good listing copy, and every click you're getting is almost converting, which is impossible, then you're always going to be profitable. But at the start, you might not be because your listing does not have any reviews. The trust is not there with the people buying from it. So at the start, it might be unprofitable for the first 50 or 100 units. But the thing is, those 50 to 100 units that have been bought from Amazon customers, you can then ask them for a review. And at least 3, 4, 5 may leave a review on that listing. Now your listing has 3 to 5 good reviews. Hopefully, if your product is good, you're going to get good reviews, which means your ads will now convert more better because now your listing has somewhat trust. And you can even enroll the product into programs like Amazon's review program, where you can get up to 30 reviews for free. You have to pay the customers for the reviews, but they actually leave it for you as well. So this way, on your website, you might be getting 100 people to buy it, but where will they leave a review? Right. Where will they see the reviews?
Right.
Whereas on Amazon, it's one page. The reviews are here. You can read it. Millions of people are going on Amazon to look for supplements. They buy it. So I'm not necessarily saying you should only sell on Amazon. I would say you should 100% consider Amazon as one of the channels to sell via.
I mean, I'm taking it a step at a time at the moment. So
yeah, absolutely.
The strategy I've sort of taken on is to create content first, build a base of audience, right? Then alongside that, work on developing your own product, which is this male lifestyle supplement that's coming out.
Yeah.
Right. Once that's done, I'm going to order about 100 to 200 units first.
Yep.
Put them on my website, take nice images, all that. Dabble with paid advertising as well here and there. Test the waters pretty much, see how it goes. And then once the brand expands, once the business grows, then I can potentially look into selling on Amazon as well.
Yeah. Firstly, you're doing a great job, because when you're building a brand, it's good to build an audience first.
Right.
Because even if that's a newsletter, like you're just sending out just useful things about, let's say if you're going to be doing it around supplements, just sending information about how to be productive, how to excel, master, blah, blah, blah. Building audience is great. But if you are going to spend a lot of money on developing a good website, taking images, this and that, I would say do the thing that has the least resistance, which in your case could be selling on Amazon. Because ultimately, your product is going to be sold mainly in the UK, I'm assuming, at the start at least.
Yes, of course, yeah.
So you might as well start off with Amazon. Once you have a customer base via Amazon, you can also use you can use Amazon strategically, meaning you can build your website, use Amazon to start selling. When you send that product, you send like a discount code. Hey, on your next order, you can get 15% discount. If you use this code, you can go to this website.
Right.
Now you have got that as a source, like it's a marketing funnel, isn't it? You're selling on Amazon, but now you're directing those customers from Amazon to your own website. Now you're going to own those customers. You can retarget them. You can sell to them again, all these kind of things that you can do to them. And don't get me wrong, if you're going to go with your website and paid ads, you still are owning your customer because they're going to give you the email and everything.
Of course, yeah.
So that's a good strategy as well. But the least resistance is going to be starting with Amazon if you want it to cost less as well. Because if you know how to build a website, and everything, then obviously you can go with the website route. That's what I would do.
But if I were to, let's say, keep the inventory to myself as opposed to send off to Amazon,
you can, but you won't get the Prime badge, meaning Amazon won't be able to deliver it next day because you're shipping it yourself.
Oh, so Amazon actually encourages you to utilize their services.
So you know when they say you get next day Prime delivery, you only get that if you do FBA, fulfilled by Amazon.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Right. And you think that going down the Amazon route is it's resistance free?
I think it's resistance free if you're gonna face challenges like enrolling your brand to the brand registry. There are a few things you have to learn, right?
Right.
You're
not supposed to do everything from the beginning. Yeah.
But I think launching your brand on Amazon, you can do it yourself. Only part you might need help with is images and A+ content, which is sort of like on a listing at the bottom, you see all the kind of images about the product. You can can
you create your own brand's page on Amazon?
You can, brand storefront as well.
Oh, right, brand storefront.
So it's like your own little storefront on Amazon.
Right.
You can do all these things, and that can be done solo or with the help of one person.
Right.
Whereas on your own website, first you might need someone to design the website. Then you might need someone to write the copy to make it appealing and make your product sound nice and it solves a problem, blah, blah, blah. So that's second person copywriter, unless you want to use ChatGPT, that's a different story. Then the third person you will need is a graphic designer to design those high quality, nice graphics.
Understood.
And then the fourth one you're going to need is for paid ads. And the fifth one you might need eventually is going to be SEO or even conversion rate optimization. So your landing page, they can help you increase your conversion rate from maybe 0.5% to 1%. So you can increase your sales and stuff like that.
A lot of people watching this might find this to be very overwhelming.
Exactly.
There's a lot going on, but you have to understand it's a step at a time.
Exactly.
You won't get it all done within the span of a week or a week and a half.
Yeah. And the reason why I think you're right. It might sound so overwhelming, like, oh my God, there is so much to the thing. The reason why I'm saying I'm giving you I'll give you context to how long in terms of the time frame I'm talking about all these things. If you were to spend good 6 months, then doing on your own website would be absolutely fine because you're giving enough time to do everything. But if you have just a month, then you can set up everything quickly on Amazon and you can get the product up and running and start getting customers to give you real data on whether they like the product or not. So I'm talking in those time frames, like a month time frame. Right. Amazon is easier to get started off with. Whereas if you're going to go with your own website, 6 months is perfect. Then go for that.
And how long has it been since you started doing Amazon FBA?
My very first shipment I sent, which I failed. My first 2 products, by the way, lost me like £500 because I didn't know what I was doing. It was end of 2020.
So what were the products?
So the first product was back in 2020, COVID. People wearing glasses, face mask, it would fog up.
Okay.
Because if you have this, it would constantly fog up, and it was a really painful problem. So I found this product which was a face mask case. Right? Oh no, that product is different. Both are so face mask related that I forgot what's
okay.
The first product was a face mask case. So instead of people having to buy a new face mask and they lose it, this was just a case, plastic case where you can just keep your face mask in.
Yeah.
I thought it was a wholesale product, meaning you can just buy it in bulk and then you can resell on Amazon, but it wasn't the case. It was a private label product. So as soon as I sent it, I started making sales, but end of the day, I got a notice from Amazon that my listing has been deactivated because the seller has sent an IP complaint, blah, blah, blah. So my entire stock of like 300, 400 units went to...
So you ordered a bunch of units, sent them to Amazon.
Yes.
And sold.
But the problem was...
It was a private label.
It was a private label. So I was selling on someone's listing who was a private label seller, and they owned that listing.
Product. Yeah.
That listing itself.
Okay.
That same product I could have sold under my listing, but I wanted to do wholesale Amazon, which means I didn't want to create a listing. I didn't want to create images. On Amazon, you can resell on other people's listing as long as it's a wholesale product, meaning it's a branded product or it's a product that multiple sellers are selling on the same listing.
Understood. So you started that in 2022?
No, end of 2020. Yeah, end of 2020. if it failed. So I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. So then I was just like, let me do more research, and I did.
And
do
you
that.
spent 500 on that, right? That
Yeah,
real product.
around 500, just below 500, because the next product I bought was actually tissues from IKEA.
Right.
It was some red velvet tissues. I think for some reason they were really cheap in IKEA. It was around 99p, and on
Per
Amazon,
box.
per pack of 100, and on Amazon it was selling. I think pack of 2 was selling for like $9.99 or quite a lot.
Oh wow!
So I was just like, oh, I can buy
Profit
this.
margin.
Yeah, I was like, I can buy this for 99p. Create a pack of 2. It might cost me £2, and then I can send off to Amazon and sell for $9.99. I sent in that stock. Till date, I didn't get a single, like, as in, I don't have the stock anymore there, but like it 3 months,
you just didn't
3
get any
months, and I didn't get a single sale.
Right.
So then I was just like, man, this is not for me. So I actually paused Amazon. I stopped doing it because I was just like, maybe this is just another fake side that's what people kind of talk about online.
Pyramid scheme or something.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just like, yeah, I'm stopping this thing, and it might just not work. And then it wasn't until start of 2021, February-ish, when I actually met up a random dude. He messaged me on Instagram being like, hey, I have a glassware business and I would love to kind of speak to you about it, and we might potentially be able to do something. So I was just like, cool, let me meet him. So I met up with him, and what he did was he used to go and sell glasses to elderly people to their homes, because they can't go to like an optician to get their eyes checked and blah, blah, blah. And his idea was, let's get this big machine where you can create photos for products. And then we go to these high street shops where they might need like photos or something along the lines. And then we kind of tell them that, hey, this is our machine, you keep it. It's like a vending machine type thing model. That's what he was speaking about. And then end of that conversation, he was using a wipe to wipe his glasses. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why don't you have a cloth instead of using a wipe? And he's like, oh, these are special wipes. There are no fog wipes, meaning if you wipe your glasses with it, your glasses won't fog up if you wear a face mask.
Right.
I was like, oh, that is really interesting. So then I was just like, out of curiosity, I'm like, let me see if this even sells on Amazon. I just scanned the barcode on Amazon, and it was selling like 2,000 times a month, and only 3 sellers were selling it. I was like, holy crap, this is insane, because it was being sold for like £14 or quite about £10. And he's like, oh, I can get and I asked him, how much did you get it for? He's like, I have an account with the brand directly. So he was getting it for like £2 per unit. And I was like, can you buy more of this? Let's sell it on Amazon. He's like, yeah, I can buy it. So then that was my first successful product I found accidentally, because we bought, I think, around 50 units of that. We sent off to Amazon. In like,
this was on your third attempt?
Third attempt. Okay. In like 3 days, we ran out of stock. And
really?
we made like £120 profit or £150-ish profit around that mark. And then we just split it. But then I was just like, okay, I'm going to double down. And he wasn't interested in starting, like carrying on the Amazon business. So I was like, can you help me get an account open with him? And he's like, yeah. I opened an account and I continued selling that product, which I found accidentally. And then I learned, okay, this is how it
that
works.
product proved that there is substance to this.
Exactly. And that proof of validation was so important for me to get, because until I didn't see that first sale, I just thought that Amazon's not for me. Like, Amazon's never going to work for me. Yeah.
And so it's been 2 years since you've been doing Amazon, right?
No, quite a long time.
Oh.
21, 22, 23, 24.
Oh shit,
25.
yeah.
Almost 5 years.
Oh yeah, 5 years.
Almost 5 years.
And if you don't mind me asking, how much have you made from doing
Yeah,
Amazon
so
FBA?
in Amazon, I've always focused on low ticket items. And for my first, when we started in 2021, it was actually including all my friends. So we were doing it together. So that time, I think we all scaled it first to around 100,000 in the first 8 months. Then we all started to do it individually, where again, across all of us, we all were doing like over 20, 30K. So across us, we had at that time already done over like half or more than 500,000. I think 600, 700K we had done. And then we decided to go on our own paths eventually. Like we were still, but we decided to move office individually and stuff like that as well. Mm-hmm. And we went on our own path. And since then, even just by selling these products, I've done over 500,000 in Amazon sales, and my business, till date. And my business still, this is me considering over 500,000 since 2023-ish, because that's around 23, 24, 2 year-ish since we went to our own paths and we started doing all of these things ourselves. And now it's at peak we scaled it to around 50,000 a month when I'm doing it myself. Right now, we're managing around $30,000 wise, and I've kept it consistent. The reason why is because if I scale it, there is a lot more cash flow needed in order to scale a product-based business. A lot of people don't understand that, is that e-commerce is not easy if you don't know how to manage cash flow and how to manage the logistics behind inventory management. Because you might, right now I have like 20 SKUs, and funding 20 SKUs is not easy. If I
20 different products.
20 different products. Exactly.
Right. So, and then you have to sort of buy them in bulk.
Exactly, yes. So right now, just while I was coming here, I just bought £3,800 worth of one product. And that's going to be around, I think, 1,000 units. Now, just like that, I have to buy another one. So I have to make sure that...
So what is that product, if I may ask? So
yeah, sure.
People have an idea of what sort of things they can sell.
The weird thing about Amazon is that, because I mainly right now have a mix of majority products, I'll give you each one. In wholesale, you can just sell about anything. What I mean by anything that sells. It could be that pint, that's not a pint glass, but like
a glass.
A glass. It could be this, it could be a microphone. Anything that sells. There is no specific category, there is no specific niche that you need to look into.
So people don't have to worry about being different or being innovative.
Because you're just reselling you're just reselling a product that is already
has
there.
Proven to...
Yeah, and you're not building anything yourself. When you move to the next stage, which is sort of just before you build your own product, I say do something called exclusive bundling, where you sort of take a product that is not yours, but a known product, like let's say a Coca-Cola can. This is a hypothetical example, a Coca-Cola can. And then you use a complementary product. Like let's say that's going to be a straw, because people really use straws when drinking Coca-Cola. There is types of people who do that. They're weird, but they do that. So then I just put them together and then I create a listing around that. And the straw is under my brand name, but Coca-Cola is not under my brand name. So that's the second way. And the third is private label. That's when you have your own product. Now, the product I sell is sort of in the DIY niche mainly. That's my main kind of product. So one of them, I'm not going to give the exact product because people are going to then go and copy and it's going to create more competition. But it's in the space where it solves a really specific problem in DIY, but mainly for handymans who are doing projects for kitchen fitting. I think I might have given that product away when someone goes and search deeper into that. But that's what my niche mainly is in the DIY. I think the best thing in private label you want to do is go as deep and as niched as possible, because you'll most likely find really good products there.
But if it's such a specific product, right, what is preventing other people from copying it?
The thing is, people will copy, and a lot of people get scared.
It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, a lot of people are scared of Chinese sellers. Like, oh my God, if I start selling on it, Chinese sellers are going to copy me. But if you're the first one and you've started to get ratings on your listing and everything like that, you just need to be smart on how you're going to get more customers on that product from outside as well. That could be, nowadays, a lot of people start selling on TikTok Shop. A lot of people start selling on their own website. But more than that, if you're the first one, you're always going to be the first one, as long as how you maintain that listing. You're going to get copycats. You're going to get people selling it for cheaper. It might reduce your sales here and there. But in the long run, if you just stay consistent with your own product and you expand your product line as well with other related products, then I think that's going to be the best way for you to actually build a brand specifically on Amazon. Right.
But obviously you haven't built your own brand, isn't it?
I have.
You have now?
Yes. So I actually launched my own brand, which is funny. I would say it's a supplement, but it's not a supplement. It's a honey stick, Shilajit honey stick. So it's Shilajit infused with honey.
Okay, cool.
I launched that off, I think...
And that's your own brand?
Yeah, that's my own brand. I actually did launch my own brand in 2023 as well, which was a lavalier microphone.
Okay.
We sold like 1,000 units of that and everything. The only reason why I stopped is because it was an electronic product and I had no control over making sure how good the quality is. So I was getting...
safety and security aspect of it as well, right?
Yeah, and I was getting refund rate was high and I was not able to find a really good supplier for it and all those things. So I was like, maybe no point, because if I'm making 1,000 sales right now, if I scale this to 10,000 and I have the same problems, that's going to be really bad.
And was your supplier based in China?
He was based in China.
Yeah.
So then I took a pause and I didn't launch anything until start of 2025. I decided to launch this product. we launched it. It even got Amazon's Choice Bar. Currently, it's live on Amazon. But we are planning to pivot that more into sort of like a tea, like a tea product along with this product together.
Oh, infused with shilajit or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the direction
we product idea. Actually.
Again, it's all coming down to figuring out a problem that people have and then solving it.
Right.
The thing I didn't do properly in the launch, I think, was I did have a defined problem that I wanted to solve, but I didn't have a hyper niched problem that I wanted to solve.
Right.
Because on the broad scheme, I was like, I want people to feel energized without caffeine.
Yeah, right.
Right, with shilajit. That was the whole plan. But then if I went a little bit down in figuring out, okay, who can I specifically help? What type of problems are they having? Like elderly people might have some kidney problems. Can I help with this product, with a specific type of another product, and then put it together, and then I put out the market? And that's what I found from the market. The market told me that they want this. So then I decided to flow with that.
Yeah. It's like I'm building the Eager Man's Male Lifestyle Supplement for corporate men because I work in a corporate environment myself, and I do 12-hour shifts. And by the time I'm home, I'm totally knackered.
Yeah.
But I don't want to feel that way. You know, my energy has slumped, my mood is down the drain, and I'm just like I need to flip that around. And so that's why I came up with this supplement I'm targeting those guys, but then the supplement can also be used for people who go to the gym.
Honestly, exactly. And there is this really good guy. His name is Ryan.
Daniel Ryan Moran.
Yeah, Daniel Ryan Moran. Yeah, I watch his content a lot, specifically around building brands, and he talks about this a lot. How every successful billion-dollar brand starts off with one core audience.
Yes.
And then eventually it targets other audiences by the nature of how business and brand building works. But you always start with that core 100 customers that you want. And then they will put the word of mouth.
I mean, I love Ryan. I think his book, 12 Months to 1 Million. Have you read that book?
Yes. I haven't read it. I have watched his series.
Right.
With that,
you should read the book as well. It's an absolute game changer.
I'm gonna give it a go.
Yeah. That book is the reason why I started the Eager Mans, and is the reason why I'm sitting in front of you today. And
crazy.
Yeah. And I'll tell you how I came across that book. I was literally browsing for books on Amazon that were
around e-commerce.
I was looking for books that would actually tell me what to do, because there's so much fluff out there, you know, and I was full of anxiety in that moment, in that period of my life. And I was like, I just need something that will actually help me. And I came across 12 Months to 1 Million. I was like, that title sounds very cheesy. I'm not sure if this is going to be of any value, but it does say 1 million in 12 months. So I'm just going to go for it.
What's funny is that I used to see the ads of 12 months to 1 million. And I was like, this thing is messed up. So I never clicked on it. But then I was one day watching YouTube, and I came across videos of this guy, him being Ryan. And I was just watching. I was like, this guy has so much knowledge. I love his video.
He's smart. Yeah.
And it was funny thing is, it was, you know, that thing, the video he made in the grocery shop where he was going through all the different products. Yeah. And then that's how I came across that he's the author of that book. And I was like, this guy actually knows. So let me go more research into him. So now I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, exactly.
The cheesy title.
Yeah. And 12 Months to 1 Million gave me a structured path to follow, right? That book told me about, you know, how you should build a base of audience first before launching a product, you know, find out a problem that people are facing that doesn't have a solution yet, and, you know, create content and do this and do that. And it's like, it just gave me a ray of hope that I needed in that moment. So I'm glad you raised.
What's funny is that the product I built is almost under his thesis of how you should go about. The only thing I didn't do was building an audience before launching it, because I was going to launch it on Amazon. And for that, yes, it's also good to have an audience, because then you can kind of sell it to them. But I should have kind of focused on building an audience, which you're obviously doing. I have built an audience for my personal brand, not really for a brand, but maybe in the future when I launch a full on my own website and everything, that's when I'm going to go down to that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're watching this and you're an ambitious entrepreneur, but you don't know what to do, how to go about becoming successful in the domain of entrepreneurship, I think you should definitely read 12 Months to 1 Million.
Yeah, 100%.
That book is going to give you a structured path to walk down. And
if you don't like reading books, he has a 7-part video series on his YouTube.
On
as
YouTube,
well.
yeah, I've watched those videos as well. They're pretty.
They're really nice. Yeah.
You've also dabbled with trading, didn't
Yeah.
you?
I did trading. I have dabbled in so much. And I think this thing of being, like being an expert in one field, I feel like it's so overrated.
Right.
Because I have the experience in understanding how the charts work, not like an expert, but the basic knowledge of like candlesticks and how to analyze a chart and everything. Then I have experience in e-commerce. Then I have experience in content creation. Then I have experience in a little bit of like how rent-to-rent and HMOs work. Because of all these experiences I've had, I am able to think so creatively in my own way.
Broadly as well.
Yeah, and broadly as well. That gives me such a edge sometimes.
Right.
And I feel like that's why going narrow is really overrated and going broad is underrated. But now going to the trading question, I dabbled it in 2020 because I thought trading was going to be easy. But I realized trading takes good amount of time.
Really?
If I continue with trading till date, I would have been an expert, but I didn't because it didn't match my lifestyle.
Right.
Again, the reason why I speak about lifestyle a lot is because if you're going to choose a business where you're to give it minimum 6-7 hours a day in front of a computer, that being trading. Obviously, if you're a good trader, you don't need to spend that much time on the charts. You just have to wait for the chart to get aligned to where this is your how you're going to take a trade based on this and that. Fair. But at the start, you need to learn the basics. Now, I knew that trading did meet my lifestyle, but it didn't give me that edge. I wasn't that good enough psychologically. My emotions are not something I can control sometimes. So I know I would have made decisions that would have made me lose money. So after dabbling it with actual trading in 2020, I came across Forex robots that traded for you. That's when funny thing was I made like over 5,000-6,000 pounds just by using Forex robots.
So a robot that trades on your behalf?
Yeah, that trades for you 24/7.
Do you pay to hire that robot?
You can buy Forex robots on websites where you don't have to pay them monthly. You just buy it once and then you just run it on the charts. But bear in mind, this robot might sound so nice and they can make you quick money, 100%. But it's like gambling. They can make you money, but they can lose it in a second. And I've had accounts blown up multiple times. And the money, what I was doing was, I knew that there is a possibility that I can blow my account up. So every time I made X amount of money, I would just take it out. And later on, I started with £100. So anything above that was all profit. But I would constantly keep withdrawing money because I knew that this thing can blow up anytime.
Right. You were just scared of losing.
Yeah, exactly. So back then, I was still working a 9 to 5. I was making like £900 a month. So for me, even making like 200 quid off a robot and withdrawing that was insane. So I remember my highest withdrawal from that was like £5,000. Not 5,000. Probably that was after that. At the start while I was working, I think I would say around £1,000 was my highest withdrawal. And I was like, holy crap.
From 100 quid?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
What's funny is that I documented the journey of using the robot on Instagram and I was taking photos every day. I was like, yo guys, this is what's happening. This is what's happening. This is what's happening. So I started with £154 exactly, I think. And within 2 weeks, I was like at £1,500.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was, but I knew once I blew a few accounts up, I knew that this is not sustainable. That's when I started.
It's one of the things you should just try it out, do it for fun.
That's when I started to look for more sustainable businesses. Hence why I came across Amazon.
Right. So trading was a short-term thing.
Thing.
Do you invest by any chance?
I mainly,
stock market?
Yeah, I dollar cost average. I started dollar cost averaging in the S&P 500 back in 2022.
So what's that?
So, so to someone who's completely new, investing can be complicated if you think you need to sit in front of charts and you need to know which one you're going to buy today and you're going to sell tomorrow.
Right.
If you try and time the charts, you're never going to succeed with investing unless you're a really good investment banker. That's a completely different story. For people like us, we can invest in index funds. index funds are basically a basket of stocks from multiple companies. So the S&P 500 basically tracks the top 500 companies in the US. That includes Apple, Alphabet, Google.
Understood.
Yeah, exactly. All these companies. So I was just like, okay, I know I'm not an expert, but if I do the maths, if I just invest £200 a month from my age of 20 until age of 60, just £200 a month into the S&P 500, based on the previous data of how it's performed, in the last 30 years, it's averaged around 8 to 10% a year return on investment.
Right.
If that happens and my money is going to compound, I'm going to have over £1 million in my bank, tax-free, because in the UK, you have stocks and shares ISA, which you have up to £20,000 limit per year that you can add. If you add 20,000, great. But if you don't have 20,000 to invest a year, that's completely different. So all I have is with Vanguard, I have £200 direct debit set up that goes into the S&P 500 ETF because it just tracks the index fund. And that does it automatic. So I don't have to worry about picking, okay, this stock or this stock. It just goes into that every month.
So investing in the stock market is a long-term game.
It's a long-term game. And honestly, that's what I think. Unless that's your main thing, then obviously you can go in options trading and everything.
It's like what Warren Buffett said, time in the market is better than timing the market.
Exactly.
Spend as much time in the market as possible and invest small amount consistently over a long period of time.
100%. And I think for most people, I would highly recommend that rather than keeping your money in like a savings account and hoping you're going to grow that wealth.
I mean, to be fair, I don't know much about the stock market and I don't know the technicalities of it, but I have put around 800 quid in Vanguard 200, I think it is.
So Vanguard is probably tracking one of the index funds.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's 200 different.
Honestly, companies. I think to grow wealth in the stock market, you don't even need to be an expert. Like literally,
I'm not an expert at all. I don't know anything about the stock market.
Exactly.
And I've put like 700-800 and now I've made a profit of like 15. No, I haven't taken any money out. I haven't drawn any, but I'm like up by 15-20 quid.
Exactly.
The last 2 months.
And I don't know if it was Warren Buffett or it was Albert Einstein, but he said the eighth wonder of the world is compound interest.
Einstein.
Oh yeah, Einstein, isn't it? And literally the crazy part about compound interest is the fact that your money doubles. If you think of it, in 10 years' time, whatever you invest is going to double because of compound interest. And if you don't want to play the long game, then you can go gamble. So that's what I would say. The
probability you becoming a millionaire through gambling is probably 0.0001.
Yeah, I mean, you can. There's a higher chance of you getting struck by lightning than you winning a lottery ticket.
Right. If you do become a millionaire with the lottery, you're the luckiest motherfucker on this planet.
and the probability of you losing all of that again is also higher because you have no idea how you're going to manage that.
But what would you say is your biggest failure that you've experienced so far in entrepreneurship?
I've had a lot. I think in my few years of entrepreneurship, I feel like I've lived 10 years worth of failures, but that's because I tried a lot. Like my first million I made from entrepreneurship, I have used it all back in. So
you've reinvested
everything, yes. Like literally, I'm talking about $1 million. Like that includes trying out different projects, hiring people that I didn't need to. One of my projects itself has cost me around £150,000 and I got zero return on investment on that.
£150,000?
Yes. Just one. And then obviously I've had a lot more other things. So my highest failure, I could say, is like £150,000 on one specific project.
And what did you do?
Oh, actually two, because I go into a bad partnership that cost me around £120,000 or £130,000. So in total, just those two things, almost 300K.
So bad partnership, as in, were you trying to build a brand with this individual?
So
or?
I basically had another person I partnered for business. And one thing I realized is having the right partner in the business is a cheat code to business. But if you get that wrong, you're going to suffer a lot. And I got into two bad partnerships in my time. The first one was back in 2022-ish, 2022, 2023. And that led me to I basically signed a contract trusting the person that, I went through the contract, I was like, yeah, all good. But that person was so messed up that he later went back to one of the clauses in the contract, and then he decided to actually file a legal lawsuit on me, to which, just to settle the lawsuit, I had to pay like 21K. Just to settle, which is not a lot of money, because I was thinking it's going to cost me a lot, but just to settle that, it cost me 21K. So that was my first bad partnership. And then the second bad partnership was with a company that I worked with. They were we were working together. We built a product together. We scaled it to like 6 figures. And then I realized that they were lying and being dishonest. So then I could have...
In what way were they being dishonest?
They were being dishonest in the sense of like how the product was being built. They were telling me a different story, but it was a complete different story as well.
Right.
So then I was just like, yeah, I can't trust these people. And I was feeling that feeling of like disgusted of just being partnered with that person.
Yeah.
So then I was just
they
like...
deceived you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing, that's my like point of where I'm going to just go like, cool, I'm done with you, is dishonesty. The moment I find someone being dishonest, I'm out of that. I can't be in business with a person who is not going to be honest with me. And that's one of the things I've learned after 2 bad partnerships, obviously. But yeah, on that spot, I was like, I'm out. You can keep everything. I don't want a single thing from you. And I just left.
I mean, there's a lot of money and responsibilities on the table. So you have to
exactly
be with a person who's honest.
And one thing I learned is that money changes. Like once money gets involved into a partnership, it's a different story. That's why if you can't trust a partner at less money, like business partner, when you start making a lot of money, you can't trust them as well.
I mean, money doesn't change you. Money reveals the real you. So if someone turns out to be dishonest and deceptive, then that means that that person was always like this. They were just waiting for the right opportunity.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Considering all these poor experiences that you've had, how do you then deal with doubts and trusting people and, taking risks?
I think
there is an element of taking risk there, isn't
yeah, and I think I'm a type of person who lets it go too quickly. Like, okay, cool, this is gone. It's with me. It stays with me for like a month, but now this is in the past and I've moved on from it. I don't really hold on to things for too long.
That's very good.
Yeah, and honestly, maybe it's my parents, but maybe my dad has instilled in me or anything, or maybe I've grown up like this, but I don't really hold on to things for a long time. And that has really helped me out because I've had a lot of bad things in business happen to me. And if I kept those things with me, I think I would have never been where I have been able to get today, at least. So that one trait within me, I'm grateful to my genetics.
So do you forgive people or do you just forget?
I forgive.
Yeah.
I think I got that part of being kind and being empathetic towards people from Gary Vee. He's my mentor in business, in life. Yeah. Before Hormozi, he's the guy I only watched. And one thing he talks about is like, I'm going to swear here, but fuck making millions if you're a shitty person. Like, why be a shit human being? And I would rather just forgive a person and move on with my life rather than holding a grudge towards them and having that negative energy within me. So I'm not a saint that I'm going to just be like, oh yeah, I forget, like I don't feel any emotions towards you, blah, blah, blah. I do for maybe a while. But then I realized that, you know what? It is what it is. I'm going to move on with my life. And then I just don't hold any negative things towards that person anymore. And that really helps me live my life more peacefully. Because if I know that I have some sort of anger within me towards that person, it's just going to make me feel shitty. So being kind is one of the best skills you could have in this world, I think.
True, I agree. I think one of the biggest things I realized was that life rewards you a lot for being efficient. Yeah. Efficient in every manner. And the art of not holding on to things for too long and letting go and forgiveness and forgetting is a superpower to have, because if it's not going to produce any results for you in the next 5 months or 5 years, what even is the point?
Exactly.
What even is the point in thinking about or wasting any mental energy on it? You know? What is one of the biggest lessons you've learned about entrepreneurship?
That it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took me a long time to understand this, but like I wanted everything to happen fast. I got into, when I was doing the best in my business career, like I was making hundreds of thousands of pounds a month. I was just too impatient, and I was like, okay, how do I get to like 200? Why am I not getting to 200? I would then blame the people who are working with me. I'm like, yeah, these people are not good enough. I can do this on my own, this and that. And then I would just be like, I want everything quickly. I want to go from 0 to 100 quickly. I want to go from 100 to 1 million quickly. But I then realized that whatever goes up quick comes down really quick as well.
Perhaps even faster sometimes.
Even faster, exactly. So it did happen with me. Like, I went to hundreds of thousands of pounds quickly, but then I didn't know how to maintain it. I wasn't ready for that amount per yet. My character, my skills, my discipline wasn't ready to be making that much money. So I went back to how much I actually deserved as a person and how much I was capable of handling. Then I realized that this game is a long game. You have to be patient enough and you have to do it slow. Sometimes just doing one thing might take 3 months, but that's okay. Because just on the train when I was coming here, I realized I was like, I'm 27 right now. Imagine when I'm 40 years old, how insane I'm going to be.
Right.
So I need to take it easy on me as well.
Yeah, and going back to the patience bit, look, I think if you were to draw a graph for success, it would be an exponential graph.
Yeah.
Right? Because obviously it's flat at the beginning. And that's where you need a lot of patience and optimism. Yes. It's supposed to take a ridiculous amount of time at the beginning. But once you build a solid foundation, exactly. Once you build that momentum, it's not going to be long before your success skyrockets.
Yes.
So that's something that I realized as well recently. And that's why this has enabled me to eliminate my doubts. Because sometimes you're like, I've just uploaded this video, but it didn't get any views. Like, is there any point in pursuing this anymore? And then it's just like, no. You're in this for the long game.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Yeah.
Like especially when you start content creation or business, we underestimate how much we can do in the macro, and we in the macro, and we overestimate how much we can do in the micro. So most people think, okay, I need to have 10,000 subs in 2 months. But if you just say that, okay, I'm going to make 10 videos in 2 months, every 2 months, and I'm going to get to 10,000 in 2 years, you might get to 100,000 if you just do 10 videos for 2 months. So I don't know, that's going to be like 60-ish video for a year.
Yeah.
Do that for 2 years, you might be 100,000. So it's just like, we need to just be patient enough and everything in life comes.
What are some of the best books you've read on entrepreneurship in life?
Best book in entrepreneurship, online money making / marketing.com secrets.
Okay.
The three books of Russell Brunson. I haven't read 100 Million Offers fully.
Right.
But I would recommend that if you have a service business. For mindset, I would 100% always say The Secret of the Millionaire's Mind. That's one really good book. Obviously, Think and Grow Rich is another one, which is classic. Then there is Who Moved My Cheese? And one last book, which is a really short book. It's called Go for No.
Right.
And that book is really nice because it talks about how we should go for no's. Because from that 100 no, if we get 1 yes, that's all we need to succeed. And it talks about a really good lesson, which I kind of talk about a lot, is that success is here. Success is here, you're here. And that thing in the middle, that bridge, is called failure. In order to get to success, you need to cross failure.
Yeah.
So I think
some of the best books I've read are, I would say, definitely 12 months to 12 months to a million. Yeah. I would say The Fast Lane.
The Millionaire's Fast Lane.
The Millionaire, what is it? The Millionaires?
The Millionaire's Fast Lane.
The Millionaire's Fast Lane, exactly.
Yes.
It's an incredible book.
I read the summary of it. It's an amazing book.
Yeah. And he's also written another book called The Rat Race, Escaping the Rat Race or something like that. Yeah, which is a fantastic book as well. In terms of mindset, have you read Eat That Frog?
I have read the summary of it again.
Yeah, it's a very small
In
book.
the morning, eat the frog.
Yeah, exactly. Just get the most difficult things out of the way first. Yeah. And then The Magic of Thinking Big. That also pretty interesting.
I think I haven't read it, but I, again, have read summaries of it.
Yeah. But Jatin, it's been a pleasure having you in this podcast, man. I don't think we covered everything. There's definitely a lot more we can talk about.
100%.
So there has to be a round two at some point.
Yes, definitely.
But an absolute pleasure speaking to you. And thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me. And it was, again, great speaking to you as well and getting to know your insights. It were actually really good insights, by the way.
Yeah, really?
Yeah,
I appreciate that. Well, pleasure.
Likewise.
Thank you very much.
You.